Bon dia. So I'm really sorry for being late this week. I basically have been feeling kind of iffy and just not really thinking about doing my vlog and what have you. So here we go, and I'm sorry for that. But I hope you like my touristy t-shirt. This week I'm going to tell you about Brazilian mannerisms and little behaviour things that I've noticed. And I know that I'm going to have a couple of Brazilians watching this and they're going to hate me for it. But I'm not meaning this in a personal way, this is literally what I have noticed from being here for the last 12 months and whatever it's been. Yeah, so without further ado, these are a couple of little things that I have noticed while being here. So starting uni, I think the biggest piece of advice I can give to you when starting uni, trying to make friends and things like that, is to not worry about making friends. Literally, when Brazilians come to university, they will stick with their little close group of friends that they've known from outside of university, and they won't really tend to try and include other people. It's just the kind of Chinese studying mentality, you know, you're there for your degree, you're not there to have a social life as such. So just don't be too put off if people aren't like, oh hey, how you doing? Yeah, you should come like hang out and everything else, like, oh my god, like, let's just be best friends and like that. Yeah, so it's fine. Friends do come up, you do get to know people and you do get to make friends, but it doesn't happen like that, like it does in freshers for us. So seriously, don't be worried about that. Also, as I said in my fashion video, don't be afraid to be different. Although you do get a heck of a lot of stares, I still get stared at a lot, but I'm used to it now, and it's funny, I've got to this point where I'm like, you stare at me, I will stare right back at you, and like, even if they keep staring, I would like keep looking until they look away, and it's like, or I would just ignore them, because it's normal, they're not taught that staring is rude like we are, so yeah, just get over it really. It happens, that's what it's like here. And kids are even worse, they will stand next to you and just be like, it's actually quite funny. Yeah, so just expect to be stared at, like, well, I think it doesn't matter if you look different or not. If you look like a foreigner, then yeah, you're going to get some looks, I'm afraid. And hey, that's fine. I'd say that's kind of a good thing, because they're probably thinking that they want to get to know you and they want to talk to you, and 9 times out of 10 they do come over and talk to you. Bonus. For women, I've met some lovely Brazilian women here, and I think they're adorable. But I have still met certain women who don't like me, and it's nothing really personal, it's just their preconceptions. Is that the right word? I'm just gonna kind of come out with it straight. I can't really like walk around this like, you know, carefully. Basically with me, they aren't, like, some women just aren't a fan of the fact that I am different, wear different clothes, I have a different haircut, I'm a different height to the average woman who isn't, you know, like got some German like background, or who isn't an international student. And yeah, I've got a bit of self-confidence, you know, I'm not afraid to like go up to someone and just be like, hi, bon dia. Don't quite know what my wave was doing there. So yeah, there were women who are a little bit intimidated by me, because I don't give two beeps about what most people think about me. So yeah, I have had some women kind of give me the kind of like, babe, that's your problem, not mine, kind of thing. I remember when I came back from the Congresso, there was, on the 3rd night, there was this one girl who was like, you know, they were actually pointing at me, trying to get me up onto the stage, but you went instead. And I was like, babe, I had 20 people shouting and pointing at my head, and you were way back at the bar. It's kind of funny, just some of the little things that people come out with. So, the main thing to remember is, do not be put off by stares. You will get them from both sides of the gender table. You will, and just don't be afraid. I mean, like, it's funny, because after a while you just forget that people are looking. It's kind of a good thing to be looked at, because people want to get to know people who are different. And I remember when I went to like the philosophy building, the people there were like, oh my god, like, dude, just cool pants, yeah. Also, in those crazy trousers that I normally wear. And I was just like, yes, I have found my people. So don't be worried about looking different. It's kind of a good thing that you look different. And anyway, most people will still think you're Brazilian anyway. You know, you've got such a like variety of people. that they won't be able to tell you're not Brazilian until you start talking. And also because they have like such a mixed heritage. This is the thing with Brazil. Anyone can be Brazilian because of like the amount of like mixed race, mixed nationality, like influence, like, heritage. I don't know what the word is, but yeah, you will not struggle too much to fit in if you're just willing to take a bit of a leap. Because we've met some of our closest people, like friends here, like from nights out, where people just come up to us and be like, "Hey, we're gonna dance," or like, "Hey, my name is," like whatever, just hi. So yeah, don't hold back, because although you get some people who are a bit snobby, 9 times out of 10 you will still find a really lovely person. It's funny, and some people have said to me like, "Oh, Brazilians are so much more open than Europeans," and from my experience, I would say that the Brazilians, yes, are open, as long as you're willing to talk to them. But at the same time, I'd say they're kind of like British people, because they're still very polite. Like, you know, it's always like, "Oh, can I have that seat next to you on the bus?" And you always say please and thank you at the end of every like sentence and what have you. And yeah, they're very they can be apologetic, just as bad as we are in Britain. But they're not like the Hispanic culture. So for example, when I lived in Spain, they're nothing like the Spanish. Spanish are a lot more like extrovert. Like, this is my experience again. If you're a Spaniard watching this and you're thinking, "No, we're not, no, we're not," this is just my experience again. Like, it's nothing personal. Yes, the Spaniards in my experience have been so much more open, so much more informal. They don't apologise for being themselves. They don't apologise for things they do. It's really nice. It's a lot more comforting, because, you know, it's just you're with confident people, and it's like great. But yeah, I'd say the Brazilians are a lot more open than the British people, like the British people, what am I chatting about, than the Brits, because yeah, although we invite people like round for tea, we invite people around for dinner, we tend to normally have to get to know them first outside our own homes, whereas here in Brazil, people will be like, "Oh, come to my house, come for dinner, come now, I met you 5 minutes ago, but I love you, let's have a samba session together." Yeah, this is just what I noticed again, in terms of what they're like. It's hard making this video because I've met such a variety of people in terms of like their personalities, the way they address you, the way they react to just everything. It's just so very different. I suppose it's the same anywhere, really. Yeah, there is no one single trait. I mean, obviously, like the Brits, for example, we're known for being like kind of reserved and like, you know, posh and snobby, but yeah, and I don't know, and Brazilians are known for being very open, but then I've still met so many more extrovert people who aren't afraid to hold back, but aren't from Brazil or England, and it's like, yeah, it's a difficult video to make, I'm afraid. I'd say your own kind of opinion is probably the best conclusive. I don't know the word. I don't quite know what I'm trying to get across here. Basically, I'm giving you what my experience has been, but my experience is not true to Brazilians in general. It's not true to Brits in general. It's not true to Spaniards in general. This is literally just my opinion on, well, my view, sorry, my experience on what I've seen so far. So, yeah, I don't quite know how to end this. I was going to make a dressy uppy video this week as part of my cool story kind of chain link thing, but I haven't had time to, and so it will turn up at some point, but I'm going to leave you with another one this week instead, for week 11, so I hope you enjoy. Sorry, this video has been a little bit vague, but I kind of threw myself into this. I wrote some stuff when I first arrived here, which is a lot more, not accusation, a bit more critical and a little bit more negative. But as time's gone on, because I'm 2.5 months in now, I've got to know what people are actually like, and I've given you like tastes of what things are like anyway, in like the fashion video and the guide video. And in the partying video and the Congresso video. Stay tuned for a cool story that happened to me this week, or has been happening the last 3 weeks, but it's been a little build on build and it's rather interesting. Otherwise, I will hopefully get back to you on Sunday.